Thursday, the warm-up. So if you'll notice the pattern, the little shape becomes the big one, and then the big shape becomes smaller right underneath it. So that means I'd have a big blue star with a tiny triangle underneath it in the middle. So this one, we kind of walked, well, I would have walked the students through these questions, solving them. So let's do number one. A person walks 4 miles per hour for 2.5 hours. How far does this person walk? Well, we can go here and we can make a ratio table. So if they walk 4 miles in 1 hour, to get to 2.5 hours, I multiply 1 times 2.5. So I'm going to do that again on the bottom. 4 times 2.5 gives me 10 miles. Number two, a rectangle has an area of 24 square centimeters. What could be its length and its width? Well, if we're looking at a rectangle, we know to find the area, we do length times width. So if the area is 24, there's a few different ways I could do it. I can either do 6 times 4, 12 times 2, or 8 times 3. So any of those combinations could be the length and width. Number three, what is the area of this triangle? If we remember, area for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So if I'm looking at this triangle, even though it's tilted on its side, this is still my base and this is the height because of this right angle. So it's 1/2 times base, which is 15, and height, which is 8. When I multiply 1/2 times 15 times 8, I should get the answer of 60. So that's how we would solve those ones. Then you would pull up Google Sheets on your computer and use that to compute each of the following. So you would type this equation into a new cell and then go down to the next one and type this one. So it doesn't want you to erase the previous one. It just wants you to type each one in a new cell. And this whole lesson is going to be kind of done on Google Sheets. And so you're just kind of using Google Sheets on your computer, but then following along in the packet to answer like all of these questions here. And so it's just kind of messing around. So you'll kind of follow each step into the Google Sheets and make sure you like write down your answers in the packet as you go along. For the next part, for each problem, you're going to estimate before you actually do anything, and then you're going to use the spreadsheet to calculate the answer, and then write down the answer and the formula that you used in the spreadsheet to calculate it. So these are the questions that you're looking at for that process. So you're going to estimate first, then you're going to use Google Sheets to solve it, and then you're going to write down the formula you put in the Google Sheets and the answer you got. So if I'm looking at this first one, the speed limit on a highway is 110 kilometers per hour. How much time does it take a car to travel 132 kilometers at this speed? So you would guess first how long you think that's going to take, and then you're going to go onto Google Sheets, type a formula that you think will help you solve this problem, and then write down the formula and the answer. And you'll do that process for all of these questions here. If you have questions on any of those, you can check. Number 4 says to check in with a partner. You and I can do this together when you get back to class next week. And then, yeah, kind of following along with Google Sheets on this one, you can kind of use your Google Sheets to check yourself. And then this is just kind of notes that's in the packet. So this is kind of how you use Google Sheets. This equal sign has to be typed before the expression in each cell. And then it just, yeah, it kind of tells you how to use Google Sheets. And then exit ticket, a long-distance runner jogs at a constant speed of 7 miles per hour for 45 minutes. Which spreadsheet formula would give the distance she traveled? So if I did 7 times 45, would that make sense? No, not really. That would give me a huge distance. But if I did 7 divided by 45, that would just tell me how many miles per 1 minute. And then if I did this part C, 7 times 3/4, 45 minutes is the same as 3/4 of an hour. So since she's running 7 miles per hour for 3/4 of an hour, this calculation would be the one I use because she's running 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes, and she's running at 7 miles per hour. So that's the calculation I would use there.